The scene in Slovenia was almost unexisting at the time. Luckily, there were three guys, pioneers of electronic music in Slovenia. They had this radio show that was a big influence on me and all the other pioneer techno producers from Slovenia. I was meeting these guys at the radio station where we all met and discussed about this music, because I never met any other guy that was listening to electronic music at that time. So it was impossible to get this music at that time. So everybody's listening to Guns N' Roses, I guess, and I don't know, all the rock stuff. And I was that guy who was listening to strange music. And luckily I heard about the show, and luckily I knew this guy that knew that guy, and that guy knew that guy, and I heard that people are gathering this radio show. So this is where we started to hang out. And from there, they started to do a club night in K4, legendary student club. So I was really young at that time. And my mom let me out only till certain, let's say 1 o'clock in the evening, in the morning, night. So I could go in a club only from 10 till 1 o'clock. So I was listening for 3 hours of this fresh music that influenced me so much. And then I was literally running home from the club, so I could stay in the club as long as possible. I was a basketball player at that time, so I was able to run fast and for a long time. So I was in the club till 12:45, and then I was running the whole way home. Just to stay there for like another 15 minutes, you know, because you never know what kind of track he's gonna play. So these were the beginnings. When I completely fell in love with techno music, it was really raw, tough, underground, dark. And then it changed, of course. Techno is always changing. It always will change. But I remember it evolving into more organic sounds, involving more tribal stuff. Then it became more funkier, with more houseier sounds and feelings. And for me, from that point, I went to tech house. And then from tech house, I'm back to techno. So the scene is evolving. There are new names, new ways of production, new approaches on programs, how to make music. For example, the most significant change was the speed of techno. Speed of techno was always faster than house. It still is. But back in the days, we were playing easily 148 BPMs, 145, 133, 143. If I would play today let's say 140 BPMs, I would be considered as a hardcore DJ, like out of his mind DJ. And today techno is about 125 to 130. Obviously, there are DJs who are playing faster, and there are DJs who are playing slower. What I do is, now I'm gonna eliminate all the sounds that I wouldn't use for sure. So I will go process in reverse. I will try to listen to all the sounds that I chose, and I'm gonna delete everything I don't need, and then the assortment of sounds is gonna get smaller and smaller. And then on the end, just the best samples, in my taste, will stay for the main loop. This hi-hat is good, but this one is better. I knew I'm gonna find immediately better. Of course, I'm gonna look for something else as well. Okay, this bass drum goes out. This is kind of interesting because it has bass drum with reverb on it, but I can do the same thing. Has this reverb already on it, but I can get a similar thing with if I put machine effects, for example. Where is machine effects? I really love their reverbs. As I told you before, Native Instrument has this, I call it resolution of the sound. I picture it in my head as a TV screen with full K4, I don't know, HD, blah blah blah. And what I see what they're doing is they have the best possible quality of the sound. And sometimes I put reverbs on hi-hats and kicks, and it just sounds shit. When I use reverb from machine or native instrument, it just adds something, and it sounds so good. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but it just sounds good. I'm gonna use, let's say, ice reverb. I guess it would be cool to. Here you go. Right now, actually, this ice reverb has, of course, different colors. This knob called ice, size, percentage of mix. And you know, when something catches my attention and it sounds as I would love to, I just stop. And then, for example, this is a bass drum without anything, and this is with a reverb. And then you go, it has different color. This is a perfect percussion. Actually, there are two, but I need just this one. This one. And what I've done, if you listen to this loop, it's, let me show you. If I roll it again, this percussion is gonna repeat it more often. I've sliced it, just one, and I used it less times, just 2 times. In original loop there was 4 times, and I used it twice. It's not in the right location right now, should be. So basically, I used the drum loop, I sliced a rhythm out of it, and when the track is gonna be finished, even the owner who made this sample will never know this is his loop, because they're going to manipulate it so much. And I like the tone. The tone goes well with the bass drum, with everything, and this is why it sits well with the production. And I'm actually really satisfied with this right now. With this percussion, I would use... what do we use? Let's say Toolroom. This is a reverb, Toolroom. It's amazing. It's kind of... I'm using this reverb when I'm trying to get more wider and longer effect of reverb. I wouldn't use this for, I mean, this is obviously a short percussion, but with this reverb it goes really long. Somehow it works with long reverbs. I was lucky. Preset is already perfect. This is a nice kick, but we already have the kick that we chose. But as you can hear it, this one goes really low. Let me try something. Okay, first fade out. I'm gonna do the opposite of the kick before. So if this works, we're gonna have 3 kicks actually. You can easily cut everything below 20 hertz because you don't hear nothing. But if you are in a club where speaker gives the power, you can still feel it in your stomach. But under 20 hertz, there's not much going on. It's probably just the interference that you're not even able to hear with your ears. So you can easily cut 20 hertz. Sometimes I cut 25. I heard a lot of producers these days actually cut at 40 hertz, so I don't know, it's their choice. But let's see. Oof. You see, I want to put the volume always up to control the kick. And this is just enough of the bass, just enough. Hear the difference. I can tell you this, in a club, on a huge speaker, this makes a big difference. It makes a difference between a well-produced kick and not good produced kick. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put the plugin of Mr. Nicky Romero. I know the techno producers are scared right now when I mention this name, but he did an amazing plugin. Actually, two of them, but this is one of them. It's Nicky Romero Kickstart. Probably a lot of you already used it. It's a sidechain compressor or whatever it is, sidechainer, and you have different waveforms of how sidechain is going to work, the attack and release and blah 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 blah. This comes really handy, and I really like it because it gives hi-hats this pumping effect. Most of you know of this thing, so. But the difference is with this one is you have this mix, which is really cool, so you can adjust the pumping of it. So you can use this one and you can make just one normal hi-hat with it. This is the whole loop and you can clean it like that. I'm not going to do that because I want to have that effect, pumping effect and those, but I'm going to use it, let's say, on 70% maybe, something like that. It's just a matter of taste, and maybe later on in mixdown I'm going to go back and I'm going to use it more radically or more gentle. What I will do with this, I find this interesting. I will try to use flex, go to rhythmatic. This is an effect, an option of Logic that slice the samples, and you can easily manipulate them with a shuffle. So I would use just a little bit of swing or maybe even nothing. What I've done this loop, with this hi-hat, I've taken the life out of it. Actually, it sounded a bit more human because it had shuffle, and I made it more robotic and straight. This is what you can do, or exactly the opposite. You give the life into the loop, more shuffle. So this is what I have done. But I will actually use no shuffle at all, just normal 16th note. It's really important which effect is on which place in a chain that you have, because you have if you do differently, you will get a different result. Maybe not something you would like, but if you chain it correctly, then it can be different. It can be good. I just changed the opposite because I was thinking, okay, if there's no bass, then this is not gonna distort the bass. It's gonna react differently. It's the same if, it's not the same. Like, for example, if you have a synthesizer and you have a reverb and then you put a sidechain, the sidechain is going to affect reverb and synthesizer together. If you're going to do the synthesizer, sidechain, and then reverb is going to get those sidechaining sounds, but it's still going to be longer because it's probably long reverb, and it's not going to be as radical as it would be the opposite. Something similar happens here. And actually I wanted to put this driver, but this sound is already sounds a little bit distorted, so I guess it doesn't need the distorting sound. It's again. I'm always kind of afraid to go more than 50-50. It's like if you have 100%, don't go. I mean, if it's, you can go, but it's after 50% of the value, you go to extreme. And extremes are usually not good. Only exception is when you know what you're doing and it's on purpose. But be gentle a little bit, you know. So 50% of should be top on the top. I'm not saying this is in case with this thing, but when you go into mix, into feedback, into compression, don't overdo it because it's just not good. Because it's, for example, it's 49.4. You go to 100 and it's more exciting, but I'm not sure if it is really healthy and good. And so it still does the job with 50, big time. So try not to exaggerate if it's not really necessary. This is a bit. I'm adding reverb on synthesizer and on delays because this is the key chain, the chain is made like that. Again, if you're focused and you listen to the last EQ notching that I've done, this is way more annoying, even though these are spikes as there were spikes before, but this has a different sound, and this is annoying. Those two that I left there were not annoying. So this one goes out a little bit. And it's funny, when you see a 909 hi-hat, it has this spike here and actually these two spikes here on almost all the hi-hats. It's like a signature thing of 909, or I don't know, it's just there all the time. I've noticed this when I was repairing hi-hats like this. This is always the same. These two notches are like really similar here, and that one here is always the same thing when you're there with 909 hat. Not always, because I mean a lot of times, because some of the times probably somebody already repaired this and then they sample it and these notches were not there. But a lot of times you can see, this is this 909 hat with this signature problem. I heard another notch somewhere. I couldn't see it. So I did exactly the opposite. I turned it down, and then I was searching when this whistling frequency started to disappear. You can do it exactly the opposite, and now I found it. Yeah, now it sounds better. And it's so funny, like, first when I eliminate these three frequencies, I didn't even hear the fourth one. But then when you focus with your ears, like suddenly you hear things that you don't even recognize before. It's just like you sharpen your hearing so much that you suddenly start to suddenly start to hear a lot of things. But you cannot eliminate everything, because then you're just losing the power on sound. And I think this is more than enough. We eliminated four different things. And actually, on the sound, it's not that important. It's how many times do I have it in a track? 3 times. But these are these small details. Still, they annoys me, and I tend to fix them. You know, it sounds better.